Welcome to our channel. Today we will talk about 1 month of thefts in Japanese history, which is the theft of 300 million a day in 1968. This mysterious incident contributed greatly to Japanese society and is still a curiosity to this day. Let's discuss its details. Japan is distinguished in everything, by its amazing development and also by its ancient traditions, to the point that some, by the way, like to talk about what is described as Planet Japan. Everything is different in this country, even thefts. The largest and strangest bank robbery in Planet Japan took place on December 10, 1968, and was carried out by one person, who managed to steal 294 million yen, which was then equivalent to $6 million US. The unknown perpetrator disappeared with the huge sum, and no trace of him was found. As for the method, it was like an elaborate cinematic trick. These are its details. On that day, 4 guards working at the Nihon Shintaku Genko Bank branch in Tokyo's Kokubunji district were transporting 294 million yen into the trunk of a bank vehicle. The money was intended for one of Toshiba's factories, and was a winter bonus for the company's workers. On one of the roads in Tokyo, a man on an official motorcycle wearing a Tokyo police uniform intercepted the bank car, indicating to it that it should stop. The bank car complied with the order and stopped. The man came forward and informed its owners that the police had received a report about a bomb detonated by unknown persons in the residential apartment of the bank manager, pointing out at the same time the possibility that an explosive device had been planted in this car for transporting money as well. The man in the police uniform asked the guards to get out of the car, then got out and crawled under it to check whether there were explosives. After a few seconds, smoke rose from under the car, and the policeman shouted, calling on the guards to flee and avoid imminent death. They obeyed, and ran away from their car and the money it was carrying. The unknown man also quickly got behind the wheel of the bank car, started its engine, and drove off to an unknown destination with the huge sum, before the guards realized what had happened. The thief's audacity angered conservative Japanese society more than the loss of a large sum of money, and this unknown man seemed to have precise knowledge of what was going on in this bank, as its manager had received anonymous threats that he would be exposed to an explosion, and it was also found that the motorcycle used in the robbery it is not for the police and it was stolen and painted in the official white color to complete the trick. Japanese police found 120 pieces of evidence at the scene of the operation, and it was found that most of them were deliberately thrown at the scene to confuse investigators. The investigations involved 170,000 police officers who interrogated 110,000 suspects, and distributed 780,000 approximate sketches of the perpetrator throughout the country, but all of this did not lead to any results. One prime suspect has emerged in this case, a 19-year-old boy from Tokyo. This young man is the son of a motorcycle driver in the police force. There was no evidence against him except for a rough drawing in his death shortly after the robbery from cyanide poisoning, while the stolen money was never found. In 1975, 7 years after the unique robbery, a friend of that young suspect was arrested in another case, and although a large sum of money was found in his possession and he could not explain its source, the police failed to prove his involvement in the 2 car robberies. Moreover, in the same year the statute of limitations for the crime expired, and the investigation into it was discontinued. The Japanese press decided to fill the police's deficit and entered the line, and in 1998, Shukan Hozaiki magazine published a report in which it stated that it had solved the mystery, indicating that its journalists had found the perpetrator, who was 55-year-old Yuji Ogata, and that the conclusive evidence against him was that on the same day the incident occurred. In the robbery, he gave a 10-year-old child a 500 yen note. This man's wife doubted such a possibility and described him as an idiot who likes to make up stories. This opinion was supported by other members of the family who pointed out that Ogata had borrowed sums of money from them during that period, and he could not have been a successful thief. At that time, the case file had long been closed by the statute of limitations, and even if the thief had surrendered himself and provided incriminating evidence, he would not have been imprisoned. However, no one acknowledged this operation, which is considered the largest and strangest of its kind in post-World War II Japan.